It's Ash from Super Videos, back for another one. This one's going to be a video looking at The Walking Dead, the bonus episodes for Season 10. They recently released an exclusive table read from the bonus episodes that are going to air early 2021. Now what's interesting is that this table read is actually a Zoom call, which is pretty interesting. You can't get more 2020 than that, but as excited as I was for this table read, I was disappointed in two regards. One, I was disappointed that they pretty much gave away you could say, big part of the story. Not for season 11, but a big part of the story that we thought we're going to get in season 10's finale. And that is the encounter between Maggie and Negan. So that was disappointing. They pretty much tell us exactly how that encounter goes in this table read. The other part of it that I was disappointed about was its terrible writing. It's so bad, so cringy that I thought that it was like a joke or something. So in this video, we're going to go through it and I'll tell you why I think that it's terrible writing. But with that said, let's dive right into this. This comes from Entertainment Weekly. The article says, watch exclusive Walking Dead table read with Maggie and Negan reunion. Now, I'm going to stop it right there. I would not call it a reunion. You don't call Maggie and Negan's encounter a reunion. Encounter would have been a better word. I'm just saying. But they actually have like a clip of that table read, which was on Zoom, like I said. Now, I'm not going to play the clip, obviously, because it's going to get claimed. But I'm going to go through the article, which actually has the table read dialogue in there. So as the article reads, she's back, but while Maggie was happy to see folks like Gabriel, Aaron, and Judith upon her return on The Walking Dead, there is one person we know she will be considerably less thrilled to encounter. See, they even said encounter here. That should have been in the title as well. The guy who murdered her husband with a barbed wire covered baseball bat. And you can see the beginning of that encounter in an exclusive clip showing a virtual table read from the upcoming Walking Dead episode titled Home Sweet Home. So the first episode in the bonus section, you could say, of season 10 is called Home Sweet Home, which is pretty cool, which will air in early 2021, now that the show is back in production. The table read features Lauren Cohan, who plays Maggie, Jeffrey Dean Morgan, who plays Negan, Melissa McBride, who plays Carol, Norman Reedus, who plays Daryl, Angel Theory, who plays Kelly, Cassidy McClincy, who plays Lydia, and Kaylee Fleming, who plays Judith. And Carrie Payton Ezekiel, who acts as narrator here. Ezekiel doesn't have a scene in this bonus episode, at least the part that they're doing in the table read, but he's just narrating. So we appear to get snippets from two scenes in the video showing both Maggie's first meeting with Negan, as well as a conversation between Maggie, Carol, and Daryl, in which Carol comes clean about letting Negan out of the prison and Negan's role in the burning of Hilltop. And what is Maggie's reaction to that admission? Let's just say surprising. The entire dialogue revealed in the table read goes as follows. Now, before I go through it, if you don't want to know, this is your spoiler alert, because this gives it away. Like, you pretty much know what the encounter between Negan and Maggie is, and you get the discussion between Maggie, Daryl, and Carol. So if you don't want to know, don't stick around, because I don't want to be the one that spoils this for you. Now, before we get into the dialogue itself, I think this takes place right after she meets Judith, a grown-up Judith. I think that's where this particular scene takes place. And what's interesting is that I thought they would have filmed something like this in season 10. But they didn't do that. Obviously, at that point, they didn't know there's going to be bonus episodes. So I wonder if their plan was to not even do anything in terms of a Negan-Maggie encounter or a scene close to what we have here until later on. So that's pretty interesting. So they may have actually squeezed this into the bonus episodes, but may not have planned for it. But let's go through the dialogue. Carrie Payton narrating The Walking Dead episode, Home Sweet Home. It starts with Negan saying, "Hey Maggie," and then Maggie says, "You're out," and then Negan says, "I didn't escape, if that's what you're thinking." Already, I hate it. It just doesn't make sense for Maggie to say to Negan, "You're out." Like the wording, it's not genuine. It's not realistic. She wouldn't say you're out to Negan. She would say, what the hell are you doing out? Or something like that. You know what I mean? I feel like there would be more emotion in those words. Maybe the way she says it will be a little more outstanding and it'll have an umph to it. But the way it's written, it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. And even in the Zoom call, when we hear Lauren Cohan, who plays Maggie, say this, she's pretty chill about it. Like, it's pretty soft. It could just be that they're doing a normal table read. They're not acting it out. And for Negan to say, I didn't escape, if that's what you're thinking, I feel like that is something Negan would say, but not in those words. You know what I mean? I feel like he would approach it a little differently. He would say something Negan-like, poking fun at it or something. I don't know, but I just don't buy that Negan would straight out say, I didn't escape. You know what I mean? The next part is Carol saying, there's one other thing you should know. Negan was with the Whispers that night. I wanted you to hear it from me because... And then that cuts off there. But obviously, she's referring to the hilltop attack and the fact that Negan was involved. Again, this part of it, it feels like it's an amateur way of writing. I don't think it's as deep as it needs to be. Obviously, it's a short snippet of it, but I still feel like there should be more depth in what Carol is saying. That was a pretty big deal. I don't think Carol would just brush that off easily like that and just kind of go approach Maggie with it like that. And then Maggie says, it was you let him out, referring to Carol. And then Carol says, we are going to lose everything. Negan is the reason we didn't. Again, I don't like that back and forth. I feel like that could be polished a lot. And I just feel like they may have written this in like 10 minutes or something. That's how bad I feel like this is. And then there's a thing with Daryl. He says, but nothing's decided with Negan. You can come home. So obviously saying we can put Negan back in the cell if we need to. But we're happy you're back. Something along those lines. And again, I don't think Daryl would say something like that. It just doesn't feel genuine, if that makes sense. And then there's a part with Maggie again. She says, the truth is, I left home because I didn't want Negan taking up any more space in my head. And I realized I wasn't ready to bring Herschel back to that. And the next morning, we found Elijah and a whole community that needed us as much as we needed them. Obviously referring to Georgie's community. And it felt like it was meant to be. That part I'm okay with. I feel like it makes sense what she's saying, and the way she says it kind of makes sense, so it's all right. Obviously, Elijah, I think he's the guy in the iron mask that we see come with Maggie. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's the case. And then Daryl says, and what Carol did. And then Maggie says, what she felt like she needed to do. I get it. God only knows what I would have done if I were here, but I wasn't. That back and forth could have been improved a little bit, I feel like, as well, but it is what it is. And then there's another part. Carrie Payton narrates. She looks like she wants to say something, but she doesn't. Instead, she walks off. Again, maybe it's a case of we have to see it for it to make sense and for it to feel right. What I'm hearing or what I'm reading, it doesn't feel right. I don't know why, but there's something about it that just doesn't fit. And then there's a part with Carol. She says she's never gonna come around on him, you know. And then Daryl says, why have you? Which is very interesting. I like this part of it. And then Carrie Payton narrates another part. He says Carol considers this. Finally, she shrugs it off. And then there's another part where Carol says it's good to see her, referring to Maggie. And then another part where Carrie Payton narrates end of Act 2. So as you can tell, this is all over the place. It's not from one scene, it's multiple scenes. And then there's a part in the article that says, first off, who's Elijah? Is that the masked warrior we saw traveling with Maggie? I'm sure it is. And is Maggie really cool with what Carol did? And has Carol really come around on Negan? These are questions that are sure to be answered in time. So that's pretty much it. I don't want to take more time. This video ran longer than I wanted to, but overall, I would say a little disappointed. But I'm interested to know everyone's thoughts and opinions. How many of you actually thought this dialogue from the table read was good writing? And how many think that there's something missing, like I do? But with that said, let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. That's it for this video. See you next time for another super video.